are really relevant. Like we have these beautiful moments where we get to highlight each other and really be like out in the open, and then there's also moments where we're like dancing for the team. We're dancing as like part of that hive and finding that beautiful middle ground where we like blend and mold together as a moving piece, because that was, for me, that was what's so captivating about what they were doing. I couldn't differentiate one from the other, and of course that's not what we want here, and there's elements of it that are relevant. So team building and unity is one of the bullet points. If you guys have anything also about this that you're like have questions or concerns about later, please write it down and send it to Miss Tina. If you've ever played on a sports team or even just watched sports, you know, everybody has their different role on the team. On a soccer team, it's like not everyone can be the one who's scoring, and you wouldn't want that because it'd be chaos. We need the people, we need the goalie, we need everybody. And so there'll be times when even we might need to be on the bench, and sometimes that is like what is going to bring the team to like the championship. And I've experienced that, and it's heartbreaking in moments, and also it's like, what's the ultimate goal? And that brings me to the like, why? Like, why are we doing this? What do we want from this? And so, if you haven't already, and I know we've been this so many times, just remember to come back to that place. Like, why am I doing this for myself? And then why am I doing this in a collective? Because it'd be different. Like, you can go to just take dance classes and do dance for yourself, but when we create this circle, it's like, that's a whole different energy. And it's under the direction, we have a coach. We have a coach, a choreographer, an expert who's here to like help mold us. You know, she talks about the clay all the time. It's like, what kind of clay do you want to be? And so think about that. I can like think if I've ever worked with clay. Sometimes in the beginning it's really hard to get to, and then once it gets to a point, it's like, okay, now we can really do stuff. And I think that we're at this point in our progression towards performance that's happening where it's like crunch time. You know, we're just not quite yet, but we're moving into that place. We're still a little choreography to do, but that means that there's going to be like more things that come up, and also more like moments where we have to just cruise on through it. So we have the littles coming today, and part of it is like us being an example for them, like who we want to show them how to be. And so one of it is just the talking thing. You know, low to no talk is focus. It's hard to do that sometimes. We're like, we want to work it out, and we want to have it, and we're like all in the moment, myself included, everybody. But remembering to keep that, like, okay, let's write it down, bring in our books now if we need to, being like, okay, we'll come back to this later when we have a moment. The kids really need this. Like it is like a cluster sometimes with them. You're like, I don't even, Megan sent me a video of kids getting tossed off of ponies, and I like that. Felt like dance class a couple of times. And so, yeah, just like being that for them, so they see, oh, this is how a company rehearses and is together, so they see us as leaders. And then what it means when we have our solos, we have our duets, and all the things that we can work out, and then when we are come together in unison, like, what does that mean? And that's when I think of like the Rockettes example, is like finding that place of all of us being together and equal, and having like, and like we always talk about, like we're following who's ever in the front, and then we're also giving the tools so everyone in the back can be successful together as one. I think that's really super important. And like, you know, it's like when we have our placing, it's so interesting how sometimes our sweet like conceptions of where we need to be can shift around, you know. And this team will place us, and we'll still sometimes shift. It's like, I hope you don't mind, like I love Gloria's enthusiasm to death, and it's so cute to watch. And also like every time she just like inching towards the front a little bit. Don't know if she knows that she's doing it even. It's like, back here again. But also like, I feel like I've done that, and I've had it done to me, and I'm like, wow, we are like, we're like adults, and yet we still like, sometimes we get in our head space, in our individual space, and we're like, and it comes out in different ways. And so it's just remembering that like, this overarching, yes, we want to highlight each other and just build each other up and float and like sail and soar together. And part of that takes like at moments melding into